Kuwaiti Health Minister Sheikh Dr. Basil Al-Sabah confirmed on Wednesday the recovery of more patients from COVID-19. The minister said medical tests showed that the patients were cured of the virus. He added the cured patients will be taken to the recuperation wards before being discharged from hospital within a couple of days' time. The French government banned Wednesday the treatment of COVID-19 patients with hydroxychloroquine, a controversial and potentially harmful drug that US President Donald Trump said he is taking preventively. The move came after two French advisory bodies and the World Health Organization warned this week that the drug had been shown to be potentially dangerous in several studies. The urgency of the coronavirus outbreak has prompted some doctors to prescribe the drug despite a lack of research to demonstrate its efficacy against the novel coronavirus. German health authorities Wednesday confirmed 362 additional infections and 47 fatalities due to COVID-19 over the past 24 hours. The medical agency confirmed the recovery of 800 more patients from the virus, raising the overall recoveries in the country to 162,800 since the outbreak of COVID-19. Meanwhile, Germany has extended social distancing measures until June 29th in an effort to stem the spread of the coronavirus. The US death toll from COVID-19 on Wednesday topped 100,000, a mark President Donald Trump once predicted the country would never see. All 50 states have begun easing their stay-at-home restrictions and allowing businesses to open their doors again, even as some parts of the country see no drop-off in confirmed coronavirus cases. There is also some optimism about the race for a vaccine. Worldwide, the virus has infected nearly 5.5 million people, killing over 346,000, according to a tally by Johns Hopkins University. Europe has recorded about 170,000 deaths, while the US was approaching 100,000, more than the number of Americans killed in the Vietnam and Korean wars combined. Sweden's laxer response to COVID-19 gave its citizens more freedom than most as the pandemic raged. But as other European Union members start to emerge from the worst, Swedes risk being left behind. On Tuesday, Sweden's Foreign Minister Ann Linde responded to decision by Cyprus to blacklist her countrymen over concerns they might represent an unacceptable contagion risk. But even among Sweden's neighbours, Denmark, Finland and Norway, some have voiced concern over the potential risks of opening their borders to a country whose approach to containing the virus has been so controversial. Instead, the country is aiming for what it hopes will be a sustainable model over time to contain COVID-19 without crippling society. The idea has widespread support inside Sweden, and the World Health Organization has also suggested it might be a model for others to consider as they emerge from enforced lockdowns. The Spanish government has declared a 10-day period of national mourning starting Wednesday for more than 27,000 people who have died with the novel coronavirus in Spain, the longest official mourning period in the country's democratic history. Flags will wave at half-mast in more than 14,000 public buildings across the nation and on Spanish naval vessels until June 5th, under the declaration made Tuesday. The government said King Felipe VI, as Spain's head of state, will preside over a solemn memorial ceremony once the country emerges from the lockdown imposed 2.5 months ago. Writing on Twitter, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said it would be 10 days, the longest period of mourning in a democracy in which sorrow will be expressed and homage to those who have died will be paid. The Islamic Republic of Iran convened its newly elected parliament Wednesday. dominated by conservative lawmakers and under strict social distancing regulations as the country struggles to curb the spread of the coronavirus that has hit the nation hard. Iran is grappling with one of the deadliest outbreaks in the Middle East, with more than 7,500 fatalities out of over 139,500 confirmed cases. Iranian state TV said all 268 lawmakers who were in attendance Wednesday have tested negative for the virus. The lawmakers were sworn in after many of them arrived for the opening ceremony, wearing face masks and observing social distancing regulations. Temperatures were taken before they entered the Parliament building. Health authorities said on Wednesday 2 children who are the first suspected cases in South Korea of a rare, life-threatening syndrome linked with COVID-19 are recovering following treatment. The symptoms of multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children are similar to toxic shock and Kawasaki disease and include fever, rashes, swollen glands, and in severe cases, heart inflammation. Officially called pediatric multi-system inflammatory syndrome, potentially associated with COVID-19. MIS-C cases have been reported in France, Italy, Spain and Britain, and the United States, where more than 100 cases were found in the state of New York. China's efforts to tighten its grip on Hong Kong pose a threat to the rules-based international order, the European Union's top diplomat said, calling on member states to respond with a robust message. EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell said in a letter to the bloc's 27 foreign ministers, China's increasing control of the city affects not only direct European interests in Hong Kong, but also the maintenance of the rules-based international order where legal and political commitments are to be respected. EU's top diplomats will hold a video call next Friday to discuss relations with China amid increasing unease in the region over Beijing's moves in Hong Kong in what is seen as an effort to capitalize on the pandemic to boost its global status. International negotiations designed to address the sweeping global threat of climate change will quite likely be delayed by a full year because of the coronavirus pandemic. Britain, the host of the talks, which were initially scheduled to be held at the end of this year in Glasgow, proposed Wednesday that they will be postponed until November 2021. A decision is to be made Thursday by countries that make up the rotating governing board of the United Nations agency that sponsors the talks. President Emmanuel Macron announced an €8 billion plan on Wednesday to make France the top producer of clean vehicles in Europe and urged French car makers to make vehicles in their own country. French car plants are only just starting to rev up production after the coronavirus lockdown, which hit the auto sector badly, and President Macron wants to accelerate the transition to electric cars to help revive the industry. To achieve that goal, he said, France would increase the state bonus for consumers buying electric cars to €7,000 from €6,000. But to help dealerships sell the 400,000 vehicles left unsold because of the lockdown, the leader said people buying a traditional car would also receive a €3,000 bonus under a scheme that would apply to 3/4 of households.